What is up everybody, and welcome back to another Among Us video. And in this video I'm going to be telling you about a haunted map in Among Us that you should never play. So in Among Us, I'm sure that you are aware about the many strange things that can happen to you. You may find yourself in a cursed lobby or encounter a creepy player. But did you know that there's actually a map in Among Us that is haunted? I actually managed to play on this haunted map, and what ended up happening will shock you, so you won't want to miss this. And before we get any further into this video, I do want to mention that 70% of you have not hit that subscribe button, which means that you're missing out on Among Us darkest secrets. So why not solve that issue by hitting the subscribe button with the bell icon turned on, and dropping a like on this video if you do enjoy. But now let's begin with today's story video. So something strange happened to me while I was playing Among Us. I joined a random lobby and I saw a familiar player. It was Samara. It has been a while since I last saw her, but I wasn't sure if it was actually her, since I haven't seen her for a few weeks. I decided to stay in the game anyways. What could possibly go wrong? It was now the beginning of the game and I was a crewmate. I spawned inside of the kitchen with a few other crewmates, and I had a few tasks to do. I made my way over to the meeting room to type in my ID code, and I did a quick task in electrical. Everything seemed to be going smoothly. That is until I found Samara standing on the entrance of the main hall. She then made a run down the hallway, and I was wondering where she was going, so I followed her. As I was walking through the hallway, it became darker and darker, until eventually I could no longer see. After I followed Samara, I appeared in a random location. How did I end up here? I just followed her. I was inside the cafeteria. The floor was covered in this fancy wood, and the tables were surrounded by chairs. This reminds me a lot about a haunted mansion. But where did Samara go? So I went outside to look at the balcony, and that is when I noticed that part of the floor was missing. Something took a bite of the base, but I wonder what it could be. It had to be something huge. Maybe it could be an imposter? Who knows? I think I'd much rather not find out. And to the left of me I could see Dummy 3, and they seem to be floating on top of nothing. How is this possible? I didn't know that dummies could float. I also noticed that the target that you used to destroy the asteroids is gone. I wonder what it's missing. I then decided to take my chances and see if I could float as well, just like Dummy 3, and it actually worked. How is this possible? I was expecting to fall out of the base, but I didn't. I found this really strange, so I left the balcony and I entered the storage room. When I walked inside, I saw a doll on top of a box. It was just laying there in the corner. I wonder who left it here. I found it really strange that there was just a doll, and someone must have left it recently. Maybe Samara left it here? I then left towards the back of the storage room, and I saw two familiar faces. This is Samara as a human, and I could see Jeff's face right next to her. Why is she a ghost? I left the storage unit as quick as possible. I was getting really scared because I didn't know what was going on. I was floating for a second, I saw the doll, and now I saw Samara's ghost. This all doesn't make any sense. I then went towards the corner of the cafeteria, and I could see some floating creatures outside. These also had to be ghosts, but why are they invading the base? I also saw a flying crewmate with a balloon attached to him. How did he even manage to go outside? And who gave him the balloon? As I was leaving the cafeteria, in the corner I could see a bunch of spider webs, and there was a random skull. So I made my way into the center of the map, and that is when I saw Grim. What is he doing outside the base? And most importantly, how did you get in Among Us? This whole map seems to be haunted. It almost feels like I'm in a horror movie. Right behind Grim I could see a trail of blood, and I began to follow it. I wonder where it's gonna take me. And that is when I saw an imposter taking out a crewmate, and their visors were green. This is reminding me a lot about the alien invasion, but none of this seems to make any sense. I then entered communications, and I saw a creature that looked like a goat. It had green eyes, and there was a random book on the floor. If I remember correctly, his name is Baphomet, but I'm not entirely sure. He's definitely someone I don't want to mess with. I left communications and I entered medbay, and inside the floor seemed to be covered in lava, and I saw a creature that I've never seen before. He had big long wings, and he was red. It reminded me of the devil. I didn't feel safe being in here, so I left as soon as possible. As I was trying to make my way over to the launch pad, I saw the nun. and she made a hole in the floor. The nun is someone I definitely don't want to mess with, especially in Among Us. Monsters always seem to find me. I tried to be really careful with the floor. I didn't want to fall inside, especially with her. Who knows what could happen. As I was getting closer and closer to the launch pad, I made my way through a path of torches, and I could see a giant skeleton with big red eyes, and his hands seemed to be sticking from the floor. I have never seen this creature before, but he definitely looks scary. I left the torch path and I was approaching Launchpad, but in the corner of the base, I saw a hole. So I got closer to it and I saw Pennywise. He also had his balloon, so he must be the one giving them to the crewmates, and that is why they're begging for help and flying outside. This is now starting to make a little bit more sense, but this map is so confusing. I finally made it to Launchpad. I didn't see anything at first, until I saw a three-headed dog. It was Cerberus. Doesn't Cerberus guard the gates of the underworld and prevents the dead from leaving? And I believe Cerberus is Hades' pet, so I wonder if he's in here. I left the Launchpad because I didn't really get any information that I needed. I saw Samara earlier, but it was just a ghost. I was now approaching the locker room, and when I walked inside I saw Xander's ship. Isn't this the same ship that he used when he escaped after he had to leave his friend Mility? But then I noticed something. That's the body of a crewmate. It must be Xander. Did he crash into Mira HQ? There is no way he's dead. No, this can't be. How did he save my life last time? If he died before he made it to the airship map, this is all getting really confusing. I was looking for Samara, and now I need to find the answer why Xander is dead. I then made my way over to Decontamination, so I can go into Reactor and Laboratory. Inside of the Reactor room I saw another hole, and Baphomet was inside of it once again. What is he doing in here? Wasn't he in communications? This doesn't make any sense. I went over to the laboratory, and I saw Jeff. The more and more I see this map, the more cursed it gets. Dummy 4 also seemed to be experimenting with the skull that can be found on top of the table. I couldn't stand staring at Jeff's face, so I left the area as soon as possible. I made my way over to the center of the map, and I have yet to check the top portion. I need to check office and admin. Maybe I can find the answer to Samara and Xander. When I walked inside office, there was another hole, and inside I saw another creepy face. It was Jeff once again. Does Jeff have a connection with Samara and maybe a connection with Xander? Jeff's face was right next to Samara's ghost in the storage unit. So I made my way over to admin and I saw something standing in the corner. I got close to it and it was Samara's ghost. What a coincidence that they're really close to each other once again. I have still yet to see Samara's crewmate form, the one that I saw on the airship map. So I left the admin room and I entered the greenhouse. And inside I saw a giant spider. And one of the spider's legs seemed to be on top of Xander. What is going on? I then began to hallucinate and I entered in a panic. I could hear voices all around me. What is happening? I began to run across the entire map. Where's Samara? What happened to Xander? Where even am I? The entire map became darker and darker, and I could no longer see. I then woke up, and I was inside of the airship map, right next to my bed. Was that all a dream? Why was I chasing Samara? And what happened to Xander? I was still really tired, so I just went back to bed. If you would like me to add to the story, let's see if we can get this video to 30,000 likes. I do also want to give a massive shout out to Kitty King for helping me produce this video. If you would like to help out a smaller creator, make sure to go check out his channel and subscribe to him. And if you're new to the channel and want to see more Among Us story videos, make sure that you hit that subscribe button with the bell icon turned on. And check out these other Among Us story videos that I found on my channel.